You. Hello, thanks for tuning in again if you've been here before, and if not, hi, thanks for stopping by. I hope you enjoy what you hear and what you see. I'm coming to you from my sewing shack, which is a shed at the top of the garden where I work in Durham in the northeast of England, where I live with my husband, our 3 daughters and our 3-legged cat and our dog, who no doubt will make an appearance in voice if not in person, because she likes to have a bit of a yap. We think she's a cross between a Jack Russell and a Yorkshire Terrier. Neither has a very good reputation for being quiet, so there you go. She may you know, photo bomb or whatever it is that dogs do, dog bomb the thing. Hope my podcast doesn't get picked up by the police for the word bomb in the title. We'll see, maybe not. Anyway, yes, thank you for coming back if you've been before. Yeah, I thought I'd have this, you know, the beginner bit of the podcast that I always find a bit tricky. I thought I'd have it really slick this week. Clearly I was delusional, and I don't think it's going to get any better either. I'd hoped I'd kind of settled down and relaxed a bit, but yeah, I still feel a bit uptight being in front of the camera. Never mind. And I keep looking at my teeth. I've got new lipstick on and it feels kind of teeth heavy, so sorry about that. And I also want to apologise for the flash being on my glasses. When I got these, I asked for, you know, the lenses with the anti-reflection stuff on them. And all I found is that you can still see reflections in the lenses, but you cannot ever clean them. So whenever I try to clean them, all that happens is they get a really horrible greasy film on them. And you just can't get it off and everything looks a little bit purple. Possibly just me, however, maybe I've got really greasy eyelids. Moving on. Yeah, so I'm in the sewing shack at the top of the garden, which is where I work. My business Oppetai, which is making baby carriers, but it's also where I'm doing the podcast, because it means I don't have to completely dismantle the house and turn all the furniture around, because we live in a really tiny 3-bedroom semi and there just isn't enough room for all of the things that I want to do all of the time, which all seem to be house based at present. Maybe I should expand my horizons a little bit and take up rambling or something outside of the house. Yeah. Yeah, right. So, you can find me all over the internet. Bit of an internet tart. On Ravelry, I am Sylviebea, which is Sylviebea rather. We've got a Ravelry group as well called Bea and Rose. Then on Instagram it's Bea and Rose, BEA_and_Rose. Facebook is just Bea and Rose. Etsy Bea_and_Rose. That has to be it. That has to be it. That list cannot go any longer. Surely that has to be the end of that list. I've got a hand-dyed business called Bea and Rose, but I'm not going to chat too much about the yarn that I dye, although I will mention a little bit if I've used it in projects, but I'm not here to sell stuff. I just want to talk about knitting and all of the crafty goodness that comes into my life. You might notice if you watched the podcast before that I was going to use a top as my brand image because I've so got one. Not really, but it's in the wash. Woo! There you go. Starting to get a bit crusty. It was like wearing a sheet of cardboard. Thought it's time to wash this baby. Obviously that's not true, however, and I'm going to keep looking at my book and probably saying a lot. Yeah, so I'm going to talk about my whips, of which I have quite a few. I've done it quite a bit since last week actually. My hose, I've got like a million of those. Finished objects. I haven't got any, basically. Oh, maybe we'll talk about that, but I think I finished that already last week, but it wasn't on Betty. It was just kind of in my hands looking a bit crappy. That's Tegna Boyland Knitworks, and it's finished, and that's probably all I have to say about finished objects because I haven't got any more. And then I'll have plans and inspiration, purchases I'm reading from my book, purchases, things that I have bought, and then general ramblings. So there you go. Right, I'm gonna have a little drink of coffee. This cup I bought at the weekend at a craft fair at Usher College, and the guy who creates them, I don't know what you call it, potters them, I have no idea, Come on, light please. The guy who makes them, his company is called Hand Knitted Pottery. How class is that? I wonder if his wife's a knitter and it was her idea. Or maybe he's a knitter. I bet he's not, but you know, he might be. Right, anyway, rambling for the end, Faye. I'm going to talk about works in progress to start with. And first of all, I'm going to show you this. Oh, there's a fly. Goodness sake, how rude. Bugger off. Right, this I started it ages ago. And I started to make it for my dad, and you've seen it before. And it's from Kate Davies' book. Gorgeous book that I love. Inspired by Islay. And it is Carrig Farda. I should say that whilst coughing so you can't tell I've got a really bad pronunciation, shouldn't I? And it's meant to fit a chap and look a bit like that. However, I'm making it for my dad. And my dad's not a very big man, but it's all just gone horribly wrong. I think my gauge must be off, but I'm sure I did a gauge swatch and it was fine. But it's really quite small. I think it'll only fit probably one of the kids actually. So what I've decided to do is just use it as a colour work experiment. But it's very neat on the inside. Look at that. Check out my floats. Quite impressed with the inside. I've knitted it two-handed, and I haven't left any long floats, and I was a bit concerned about that because when I was watching a tutorial by Kate Davies about colour work, she said that she never tucks in her floats unless they're going to be more than 6 stitches long, and I'm like, I have 2 and I weave my floats in, so I don't know, maybe I've done it wrong. But it's got stretch to it, it's just too small. So anyway, this is my experiment. I've used West Yorkshire Spinners wool in cream. I've used a bit of Coop Knits in blue. And I think the rest is West Yorkshire Spinners as well. So it's all kind of woolly wool. And it's got a nice woolly smell. So I'm going to just knit, move on to a rib, bit more rib, do a ribbon, do some rib around the top. And just use it as a cowl for me. Because it's alright, isn't it? Obviously I'll never be able to wear it in front of my dad because he knew I was knitting it for him, and he'll just think I'm really cheeky for kind of stealing his half-made jumper to wear around my neck, which he'll probably see is utterly pointless because he doesn't understand things like that. You know, yeah. He's a hard northern man. I don't know if he's ever felt the cold before, or if he has, it would have been from underneath a huge big sheepskin coat that smells like 1,000,000 years old and is a bit rank. There you go. So yeah, that is it. So by the time I do another podcast, this should be finished, but it won't be finished as it was meant to be. It will be cowl instead. See if I can find a better photograph. It's lovely though. It's really nice and satisfying to knit. And this is from the Kate Davies book, and this is the ladies gilet type thingy, vest, gansy, whatever. I've thoroughly enjoyed doing it. It's just a shame that it's going to be too small. I should try it on him, shouldn't I really? However, I know for a fact what will happen is I'll stretch it and all the stitches will come off the needle and it'll end up just being wrecked. And I think I did change needle size as well, about 1 inch in, because I did have doubts. But look, it's super stretchy, so it's not like I've knitted it too tight. It's not like my floats are tight, because like I say, I've woven them in every 2 stitches. Oh, never mind. And if it's noisy, it's because I've got the door open in the shed and I am at the top of the garden. I might shut it because it's going to creak continually. Seagulls. So yes, that is probably the thing that I'm furthest on with and that I really love. Hang on. Job done. And that I really love, but that I can't progress with any further without making it into something different. But us knitters are good at that, aren't we? We're very versatile. So yes, it's now a cowl. The jumper that was a cowl? No, the cowl that was a jumper. And I'll wear that next week and I'll love it. And I'll be like, I'm so glad I could knit my dad a vest out of this. In the other shed, I've got a jumper that I started to knit for him. But I did it myself from the top down sweater book where you do like a yoke. And then, oh, my hands are really close to the camera. Where I did a yoke. Stop it, Faye! I did a yoke, but it was like a really strange shape at the top. Yeah, I followed the instructions properly, but anyway, it went a bit boobs up. So I haven't finished that for him. There's only half a sleeve left to do. But you know when you've got a project and you just think, it's not going to work. Even if you've got a tiny bit left to do, you just can't do it, can you? So I've got that one. And then, what else have I got? I've got this one that's gone wrong. Oh, and I think that's it. That's only the two. So he just gets tantalisingly close to having a new jumper to wear, and he doesn't get given it. Never mind. I hand spun one to knit for Mark out of Jacob. I think it's called the Matthias jumper. It's on Ravelry. It's lovely. It's dead plain, but it's got kind of stuff down the sleeves. Oh, it was so boring. It was just so boring knitting a man-sized jumper and really like 25 million years of stocking it. I just no, it was too much. Right, I'm going to leave the socks to last, because I did show you a lot of socks last week, and if I had finished any of them it would have been a bit of a miracle. Talking about sweaters or jumpers, I'm doing a flax for my husband because think I knit flax with a bit of colour work. Well, it's not colour work, it's stripes. I'm getting a bit overexcited there, aren't I? This I downloaded. I'm totally on a colourwork binge at the minute. I just want to knit all the colourful gorgeous things, and I think it's after having another go at doing that Kate Davies top, and also because of the Sweater and Lane magazine that I'll talk about in a minute. So I downloaded the Tin Can Knit Strange Brew pattern, which I might have talked about last week, and what they do, they give you a recipe for a sweater, and they give you a recipe for 2 different types of yoke, and also some colourwork designs which are pretty simple that you can fit in, because I've worked out all of the stitch counts for you. And I was just like, yes, I'm so going to do that for me, and I'm going to stick it and make a cardigan because I don't want to wear a jumper. However, this wool that I bought to dye ages ago, I bought it on a corner. It was dead cheap off Sylviebea. It's got a really nasty like chemical smell about it as well. It's probably incredibly flammable, but we won't test out that theory. Yeah, I bought it on a corn, stinky grey. Thought it'll do for the husband before he washes it. This may end up being a felted object of the week at some point. Let's hope not, eh? I don't know why I keep doing that ridiculous accent. I don't do that in real life. It's just like a podcast thing. It doesn't happen. I don't sit with my friends and talk like that. Yeah. Then again, I don't sit and talk at the wall either. So maybe it's all just a bit abstract and bizarre. Anyway, right. Shut up, Faye. You're waffling on about now. So, yeah. I thought I'll knit Mark a jumper. It's his birthday at the end of October, so it might be ready for about 6 years time. So I dyed it, and I think it's come out lovely. It's like a dark blue colour, but variegated, because I can't dye solid yarn. And then this orange and grey is absolutely gorgeous. It's Jacob that's been dyed by mother of pearl, and it's so soft. So I don't know how they've got a Jacob sheep with fleece as soft as that. I don't know what they've done to it, but it's just gorgeous, because the Jacob that I spin from fibre and fleece is rough as can be. It's like a floor brush, proper woolly wool, but that is just like, it's like butter soft. It's lovely and it's fine. Anyway, yeah, so I wanted to do the Strange Brew. So I bought it, dyed my yarn, and I thought this is more like Aran weight than double knitting, and it really is. It's really thick, quite heavy. But I couldn't, I was desperate to cast on. You know, first world problems, sitting there thinking, what on earth can I do? I need to cast on a jumper. So I thought I'll just do a flax, because that's worsted or Aran weight yarn. I didn't do a gauge swatch or anything, but I've done it. I've measured his chest and I've made it 5 inches bigger, so he'll have positive ease and be able to get a child in there as well with any luck. Yeah, so I'm cracking on quite nicely with that, and I was determined that I would get to the point where I had sectioned off the armholes before doing the podcast, so I actually had something I could hold up and show you. And I'm quite pleased with it, and he quite likes it. He's quite a subtle person. He won't like it. He wouldn't like stranded colour work, but he'll be quite happy with the stripes. So I'm going to continue onto the body in this mustardy yellowy colour for quite a little way. Actually, I'm going to use quite a bit of that, and then I'm just going to go back into the blue and maybe put some more orange and grey stripes around the bottom. I will have to be careful because the orange and grey is a little bit lighter, a bit finer than the blue. Yeah, That's happened before though. I've bought yarn that's been described as double knitting. And it's, oh, top of my head again, sorry. And it's been really quite heavy. And that is not a double knitting weight yarn. I mean, I haven't done the wraps per inch, but I know they'll be massive compared to double knitting. So I love flax. It's so easy. It's a top down sweater. It's a free pattern. You knit a few rounds of rib, then you do increases every other row, and you have garter stitch panels on the sleeves, and it's just so easy. It grows very quickly. I'm doing the 47-inch chest for this one, so it's not grown that quickly. I think the last one I did was a heck of a lot smaller and it just flew off the needles. But I watched a YouTube video, I don't know why, I can't remember how this came up on my list, of a woman who decided she was going to knit a sweater in 24 hours. So she sat on a chair, it looks like quite a hard chair, in front of a window with a curtain shut. Didn't have the telly on or anything. Sitting just knitting and knitting and knitting. Like for ages. I couldn't watch all of it, I just felt depressed. But please stand up. Your backside must be very numb and your shoulders must be a bit sore. Pack it in, lady. I presume she got it finished because she set herself a challenge. Maybe she only made it like that long. Maybe it was a boob tube with sleeves, eh? Who knows? Anyway, the things people put on YouTube, eh? Ooh, I've just had a mouthful of really cold coffee. I've also done a bit of Boylan Knitworks sweater, if I can get it. It's in my, this is my bag. This is Clifton, made with Clifton fabric, my fabric that I designed. And this is, oh, it's a bit of a mess. Why has it got a tiny needle running through it? And if I pull it, is it going to be attached to anything? Or am I going to have to swear? Random. Okay, never mind. Right, so that's better. I've knitted quite a bit of the body of it. Getting there. Bonnie in it, I love it. As you can tell, I am a fan of Boylan Knitworks. If I hold it like that on me, does it look like it's on me? Is that how I'm going to get to wear a lovely colourwork sweater? By just holding it on me like that. There you go. Tegna behind me, and then Sunset Highway on my bosom. So yeah, I love it. And in real life, that yarn isn't quite as kind of in your face as this one here. It's more, the colour changes are more subtle. Oh, I think that's a bit better. This was last month's Katie and the Artists Club yarn. Yeah, I'm really happy with that. It looks tiny, doesn't it? That'll fit one of them, like I say. So yes, cracking on with it quite nicely. It's nice television watching, and what I'm trying to do is and for Knit Club knitting as well, because it's just stockinette that I'm on with at the minute, to kind of ease the pressure on my hands and shoulders and everything else. I'm knitting both English style and continental, which is good for practice, and I can see that my tension is getting a lot better when I knit continental style than what it was in the past. So that's good, because I did the Tegna continental and the tension was a bit but when I've blocked it, it's a lot better. It does look a lot better now that it's blocked. It's kind of eased out all of the ruffly bits and what have you, so I'm quite pleased with that. What else have I got? Oh yeah, the socks. Oh, I'm a bit sick now. I'm a bit sick of knitting socks. Is that wrong? Am I going to go down in knitting flames for saying that? I put this on here and I thought, oh, that looks a bit odd, and it's because it hasn't got a heel in. So I've kind of nearly finished one of the river knit socks. Oh. In the Indian, oh, goes with my scarf, the Indian giant colour. No, the Indian giant squirrel colourway. And it's looking good and it feels fabulous, so I will have that done. I'm going to finish that this week, and I'm going to cast the next one on, and I'm going to at least do the toe and the foot before next week. Maybe this is my accountability thread, actually. Yeah, that's my foot on the chair making that squeaky noise. And I did quite a lot of these while I was at the cinema with my friend Emma. She is my best friend. I don't know why, because she's a proper chav. She wanted us to go to the cinema to see Kingsman 2. I hadn't seen the first one because I thought it looked utterly appalling. So working from home, great, I could put a film on during the day. I did watch Kingsman 1 and it was terrible. It really wasn't my cup of tea. So I went to the cinema and I thought it's only an hour and a half. No, we must have been there at least 2.5 hours. It took forever, but I got loads of knitting done on my socks. I didn't drop any stitches, so I could just keep going, thank goodness. It was still almost unbearable. I did it several occasions think I'm going to have to nick out of here and buy myself a Frappuccino because I just can't take it anymore. However, it did end. It did end, and there was some quite funny bits. Elton John's in it, and I can't stand Elton John. I think his music's terrible. And why does he have all that lip stuff going on? He's just awful. Anyway, I'm sorry if you love him, but he's wrong. He's just horrible. So yeah, I got loads of knitting done on my socks. So it wasn't all bad, was it? And I got to kind of see Emma and laugh at our film choice, even though I'd gone with her. So I'm going to make her come with me next week to watch a horror. What goes round comes round, girlfriend. Yeah, I've known her forever. We lived together at university. She would wake up in the morning to the song Ecuador, and I would point and laugh. Anyway, I love her. So what else, sock-wise? Did I tell you I was doing a knit along on my Facebook page and in the Ravelry group for people who want hand holding with True Afterthought heels? So I've just put up this little baby, which is dead easy. It's a vanilla sock with some slip stitches up the front, and then I'm gonna do a video for the Afterthought heel, though Phil and Knit Group did say, all right, like there's not already 20, 100,000 million of them out there already. And of course he's right. However, I don't feel like I can talk about it and be like, yes, this is what you do, if I haven't done it myself. Do you know what I mean? It's a bit pony saying, yeah, this is how we do the Afterthought heel. He's someone else doing it. I feel I need to take responsibility for that. So if it all goes boobs up and it's horribly wrong, I can only apologise. But the thing that it works for me. So, you know, what I do with the Afterthought heel is measure my foot really carefully while standing on a bit of cardboard or something, and then I deduct 1.5 inches from the length of my foot, and then when I've got the sock stretched a little bit, I measure up on the sock the length of my foot minus 1.5 inches, and that's where I put the heel, so that I've got, because the heel is about 3 inches in total. Probably doesn't make any sense at all if you've never tried doing it, but that's what I do. And it always works and I love it. It's just, as you can see, I don't get there very often because I keep starting things and not finishing them. Oh yes, and this is River Knits yarn again, which I love. And this is Blueface Leicester, 100% Blueface Leicester in the mermaid colourway. Smashing, isn't it? I love it. Yes, I'll have some more of that. And I know they're going to be at a woolly thing at the Lake District at the end of October, but I can't remember what it's called. I want to say Oktoberfest, but I think that's about sausages and beer. Who knows? Anyway, they're going to be there. Look on the internet, ask Google. You don't need all the answers, dear me. So yeah, I'm going to go specifically to buy their yarn. I think Mothie and the Squid's going to be there as well, but I want River Knit stuff. Right. And this, I'm getting on quite well with this. I'm going to put it on here so you can see it properly, because it's lovely. It's quite intricate, so it's longer. It takes longer than knitting a normal sock. Therefore, I think I need to show it off properly. I haven't done that much, have I? I feel like I've done loads on it, but I haven't. This is a Susurration sock. There's a knit along on my Ravelry page for this as well. And this is by Vicky Bird's Designs. She's on Ravelry. And it's blooming lovely. I love it. So I've got to the gusset increases on this one. This is a taupe sock, but it's got a heel flap and a gusset, and this I find much more challenging than doing the Afterthought heel. However, if I was to try and put an Afterthought heel in a sock with that much design on the front of it, it would look terrible because it would be totally stretched out across the top of my instep. So as you can see, I've started to do the gusset increases. You can't see because it won't focus. The lighting's all funny as well. I wonder if it's because I'm sat beside the window. Not that there's any sunshine, mind you. Might as well be sat down the bottom of a deep, dark, black well. However, it's covered in hair. It's covered in hair. Why is everything covered in hair? So yes, I've started to do the gusset increases. But what when you do this kind of sock, you've really got to measure your foot very carefully, because you have to start doing the increases at a specific point, so that by the time you finish doing the increase, you've got to check your gauge as well. By the time you finish doing your increases, can't start better. I feel like I'm just faffing around for no good reason at all. When you finish doing the increases, you're going to be ready to knit your heel, and at that point it needs to only be about 1.5 inches shorter than your foot. And the camera keeps switching off, and then I put it on and it's upside down, doesn't it? No, I don't understand what's happening. Anyway, we're back. We're back. Yeah, so you've got to really know how long your foot is, where you're going to start to do your gusset increases, so that by the time you finish doing your gusset, you're ready to do your heels and the sock will fit. The first time I did one like this, it was about 20 inches too long, and then the next time it wouldn't have fit a pygmy goat. It was tiny. So yeah, this one will be done properly. So heed my warnings. Dig out your tape measure, people. Don't be complacent. Don't be too cocky with those socks. This, I can see now, I've finished doing the recommended amount of heel gusset increases, but that is not going to be long enough for my gripping hooves. So I'm just going to do some more, which is fine because I've got a high instep anyway. So it just means it'll fit even better. And if it doesn't, I'll just give them to my friend Emma, who hasn't actually got any toes. She was all squished up in the womb. So her feet, she's got feet, you know, just normal looking feet, but then she's got these little tiny curly toes without any toenails on. The dead canny. And do you know what? That's it. That is it for my whips, my hose and my finished objects, of which I did tell you that I wouldn't have any. So like I said, with the colour work, Kate Davies, going back to that, it's really inspired me to try more, so I've downloaded Strange Brew. But also, I've just placed an order for some Lopi wool, I think that's what it's called, Lopi, because, dig through my books, in this month's issue of Lane magazine, which is very posh, I did stumble across the, if I can find it and show you. Going to be, I'll probably flick through like 3 pages at a time. You can read it, I'm not going to say it. Yeah, I found that. Ooh, which is gorgeous, I love it. So I was really pleased to see that it's made in Lopi in an Aran weight. So I ordered it from Wool Warehouse yesterday, and I was so excited. I thought it might be here today. When the postman came and he didn't deliver it, I could have cried because I've had a really khaki morning. So hopefully it'll be here tomorrow, so I'll get that cast on over the weekend, and I'm going to make that for Bea. But what I'm going to do, instead of knitting it as a sweater, I'm going to knit the collar backwards and forwards, do the rib, and then I'm going to knit in the round with sticking stitches in the middle. And I'm going to stick it and make it into a cardigan. I'm doing it in red, black and cream, so that Bea can wear it all over winter and Christmas and just look superb. And I think it's going to be better as a cardigan than a sweater, because if it's slightly itchy, she won't want it beside her skin, and it'll just end up in the bottom of the drawer or in the felted object of the week pile, because it's 100% wool. So yeah, happy days. So that's what I'm going to do with that, which is quite exciting. And also, when it comes to the Strange Brew, I want to show you these books I got. I bought this ages ago, Fair Isle Knitting, but it's very, very straightforward, and it didn't really, I think I was already past the point of needing that book by the time I bought it. It's lovely. If you've never done colour work before, it is very lovely and it's a nice introduction. However, I love these two. Alice Darmore's book of Fair Isle Knitting, which has got loads of charts in that you can use just for inspiration. You can do your own if you know what your stitch count is, and you've got some square paper. It's no biggie, just do it yourself. And then this one as well, what does that say? Charts for colour knitting. Oh look, it's an American colour. I'm reading it back different. And again, there's just some lovely stuff in here. So I'm not confident in, I've got the top down sweater book, which basically, I should have brought it up to show you, shouldn't I? Oh, I got a bit overexcited there. I saw blue outside and I thought maybe it was White Arrow van, some kind of post. It's not. The gas man's been next door for like the last 3 days. What on earth are they doing? Are they tunnelling somewhere? It's crackers. It's not my post. I'm so unimpressed. Anyway, yeah, so the top down, oh, I should have grabbed the book while I was in the house, shouldn't I? The top down sweater book's great. It gives you recipes for how to do like a yoke sweater or a sweater with raglan sleeves, all of the different kinds of jumpers you might want to make, and it's great. But the ones that I've done, I've found that the yokes come out a bit of a funny shape, and I'm not totally confident that I'm doing them right. So I think the strange brew would be great, because I know the tin can knits patterns generally fit really nicely. I'm confident with them. I love the way that they're written. They're so easy. So it's going to be easy to put a different colourwork pattern onto the yoke if they haven't got anything that I fancy. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. But I'll have to buy some double knitting yarn for that. I don't know what you call that. 8 ply? Double knitting? Not worsted. That's heavier, isn't it? It's kind of an American measure. Yeah. Do I hate these glasses? I think they make my eyes look like round owls. So I've got like these round glasses then, round cheeks. I think I might want some new ones. Anyway, that was a random interlude, wasn't it? And in other news, I did go and see my friend Victoria on Saturday, who was quite fabulous. Vicky and I have known each other for years. We both went to Newcastle College to do the Art and Design Foundation course in 1992. No. 2, 3, 4. 1994. Oh, that's a long time ago, isn't it? 94 to 95. Gosh. Getting old. And we both specialised in textiles, and she went on, we both went on to Cleveland College of Art and Design, which was an absolute haul. It was ridiculous. I hated it. I had no money. It was really expensive. You had to pay studio fees. Obviously it's worse now that you've got to pay 9 grand a year on top of everything else. It's a totally different kettle of fish. You had to pay studio fees, and there was an international trip every year because it was meant to be international studies in textiles. It was ridiculous. It was bloody awful. Anyway, oh god, what a waste of time. I so regret making that decision. I got in at Bretton Hall to do surface pattern design before doing the foundation course, but I thought no, the foundation course will be much better, give me more opportunity. Didn't, because that was rubbish as well. Really didn't enjoy any of it. Met some fab people who I now basically never see apart from Vicky. Yeah, decisions, eh? Don't regret it, but with hindsight I wish I'd made better choices. But what can you do when you don't have the experience or the confidence to make the choices that might be better for the future? It's impossible to know, isn't it? And I'll probably still end up just doing what I'm doing now, which is fine, and which I love. So yeah. Yeah, what am I on about? Yeah, met her Newcastle College. We did the Art and Design Foundation course together with Joanne Paisley, who's now a big posh artistic director for loads of different programmes. But she did costume design instead of textiles. And then Vicky went off to New York as soon as she'd finished, and she's been there for about 20 years and just come back. She's split up from her husband. Happy days. Got American citizenship, then she decided to sack it off and come home, eh? I think she planned that, little tinker. So what she's doing at the minute, she still works freelance. She does designs and sells them to an agent in New York who distributes them all over the place. And when I met her on Saturday, she was wearing a jumpsuit, because she's that kind of gal, with her design on, which was just amazing, and she looked fab. So she's started up a new enterprise called Toile Emporium, where she's doing really high-end wallpaper that's going to be like a minimum of 85 quid a roll, and fabric and different stuff based on cityscapes but in the style of toile. And she started local because she loves her home, and we've got some with Whitley Bay and Northumberland, and it's just great. There's Spanish City. Even if you're not from here, you might have seen that on the news. Spanish City, it's pretty famous. Just go dark, doesn't it? And then this one, what's this one, Vicky? Oh, I think that's Annick Castle, possibly. I could be very wrong. I should have sorted out my landmarks first. Then Morris Dancers, folk is very much alive and kicking in Northumberland, particularly in the local towns and villages, Allendale, stuff like that. Oh, there's Lindisfarne, bit of Lindisfarne on there. So she's given me 2 meters of this gorgeous cloth, and I'm going to make some knitters project bags out of it, because I think that the local mamas who go to various knitting groups might be quite interested in that. And I think she's going to expand into other cities. Obviously she's just starting with what she knows, but it's just fabulous, and I wish her the best of luck. And she's at the Live North exhibition in Newcastle in the beginning of October, I think, so I might go along and give her a hand with the stand, which will be quite exciting. Just in general ramblings, we've had quite a busy time. Trying to grow my fringe out and it's getting right on my nerves. We've been visiting senior schools for Sylvie, which is quite... what? How has that happened? How are we there? I don't know if I've said before, but they were home educated until 2 years ago, so to go from the home into primary school was a massive leap, but now then to be sending her off to senior school just feels like it's quite exciting really. But at the same time, walking into Fram, which is our local school, was quite horrific because the building is exactly the same as my school, and I had an awful time at school. It was terrible. I hated it. I mean, academically I did really well, but psychologically and socially it was just absolutely the pits. From the age of 3 I was bullied by an absolute cowbag called Fiona Roger and a horrible boy called Barry Henderson, and I'd love to flay them actually with a blowtorch. That would be quite satisfying. Might smell a bit, but still it would get the job done. And yeah, so going back into the school environment for me was really, it was a bit scary and intimidating, but we did it. We got there, we thrashed it out, and it was absolutely fine. The school, we've got 3 local schools, 2 are outstanding, and then ours requires improvement. Bloody typical. The school that's on the doorstep has had terrible leadership for the past couple of years, but they've got a new head now, so that's fine. Anyway, the music teacher at one of the schools, the Johnston school, which is described as outstanding, was an absolute a-hole. So that really helped us to put the nail in the coffin of that one and chuck it down a deep dark hole. So yeah, it's great because the school that she'll be going to is literally over the road. There'll be no horrific traffic or anything involved, so that's fine. And then other than that, I've generally been feeling a little bit khaki because I'm not sleeping very well. I've got a lump in my boob, happy days, but I'm not too worried because when I went to Yarndale I kind of got an injury. You know, with having this dodgy shoulder thing going on, I've been wearing my brassiere off one shoulder, and I think at Yarndale it was digging in me because when we got home I was in absolute agony. And I've read about something called fat necrosis. Give it a better title, people, come on. Which can present just like cancerous tissue, and that you get a really hard lump that's irregular in shape and that doesn't move and that doesn't hurt, because it doesn't hurt anymore. So I went to the doctors, and it turns out if you have a lump in your breast, no matter what state it's in, there's a turnaround time of 2 weeks for an urgent appointment. You have to be seen within a 2-week time frame. You have an emergency appointment if you need one, but that would be, I don't know what would have to happen for that. I think they'd have to be black and dropping off. I'm not really sure. So anyway, next Wednesday I'm going to have a mammogram and all that shenanigans, so I think it's a good excuse to go out and buy a new bra, even though I won't have it on. However, turning up with a grey one that's got like bits of frayed nylon pouring out of it everywhere, that's not really good. So yeah, I'm going to go and buy a new brassiere and maybe it's a new pair of pants. Lucky me, eh? Ones that stay up would be beneficial. So yes, and I'm not like outwardly stressed, but I think that I must be subconsciously stressed because I've been having these really freaky waking dreams, and I know they're waking dreams because I know that when it happens I'm waking up but I'm still asleep, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I've had them in the past where I've woken up and been asleep and I see people in the bedroom, but I don't believe in ghosts. I'm not religious, and I think if I don't believe in God, I don't believe in hell, and I don't believe in the supernatural in any way, shape or form. I just believe in human consciousness, basically. Just put that out there. And or subconscious or whatever. So yeah, these figures in the bedroom that are coming from my blooming ridiculously subconsciously stressed mind are doing me nothing. So the other night I woke up screaming, slapping Mark about, because right in front of my face was like a clown Russian doll type thing, and after it happened, I woke up, but I couldn't get to sleep again for the rest of the night because it really did freak me out. And then the night after, it happened again. But at this time, I was asleep and waking up, bit of both. And there was just a lady walking past the bed, kind of dressed like a suffragette, you know, with a little wicker hat on, flickering like a 3D, like as if she was a hologram. And I knew, I didn't know at the time. I was just like, what? But then I woke up and I was like, yeah, I know what that is. It's fine. It's fine. But it wasn't fine. So last night I slept really well, but the night before I was like, Mark, I've got to have the light on. I need to sleep with the light on. It's driving me mad. But then last night I slept really well right the way through, and there was no freaky things in my bedroom. Thank goodness. So yes, I'm obviously stressed about it on some level. But not, you know, it is what it is. And I don't think it's anything to be worried about. And I'm pretty sure that Wednesday is going to prove me right. I'm not looking forward to be prodded and poked with me baps out. However, and you know, mammogram, my ladies are quite big and it's going to take quite a lot to squish them between the slides of a mammogram. Good excuse to go out for cake and gin afterwards though. So wish me luck for that, please, people. And do you know what? I think that's all I've got. I'm just going to have a little look at my book. I don't think I've been on for very long, have I? But I feel like it's long enough. I think that's it. Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm doing GCSE maths. That's a barrel of laughs. I'm not going to say anything more about that. And I did quite a lot of these while I was at this. Right, I'm going to get tidied up. I'm going to go and have a cup of coffee, and then my girlies will be in from school, and then I'll start the 25 million hour operation, which is downloading this and getting it onto YouTube. Bye, thanks for watching.